Tornadoes ravage our countryside every year, and the manufactured home is the most vulnerable structure at the mercy of these killer storms. If you own a manufactured home, you need a portable tornado shelter. Introducing the Molly Safety Module. The Molly Safety Module gives you and your loved ones the security you seek right in your own backyard. The lightweight Molly installs easily and will take you out of danger within seconds. It includes a built-in stairway and seating with a lifetime warranty. Get a Molly, save a life. Call now for more information.
Lloyd and Letha Reed live in a manufactured home with no basement. They had considered having a cave built near their house to have a safe retreat from severe weather. But in caves, you often find snakes and mice. The Reeds think they've found the perfect alternative in the Molly Safety Module.
We have to drive either 5 miles to Fillmore to find shelter, or else go to our daughter's, which lives 3.5 miles north. We decided to go ahead and invest in it.
The module is made out of plexiglass and has 2 hoses that remain above ground for ventilation. It goes for $2,495 installed. That's a process that just takes a few hours.
All that's really required is that you dig a hole about 7 by 7, 6 feet deep. We put 6 inches of sand in the bed of this and 6 inches of sand on top after we backfill it. It's got 2 4-foot earth anchors in it to anchor it to the ground with a banding over the top.
The module looks a lot bigger from the inside.
This unit is built for 6 people.
6 people?
It looks a lot smaller from the outside, and we get that a lot. If you get down in there, I can put 6 of me in there.
Really?
Yeah. But we built it for the average family, which consists of mom, dad, 3 kids, and a dog.
Even though I'm a slight claustrophobic, I had to check it out, and it's an odd sensation once you're inside. The module hatch is all that remains above ground, and Lloyd and Letha now have a safe shelter less than 50 feet from their back door.
In the middle of the night when it's raining and the wind's blowing, I won't be quite so frightened.
Severe weather around here. Kansans have been pretty lucky so far this summer, but a Tonganoxie man isn't to severe weather around here. Kansans have been pretty lucky so far this summer, but a Tonganoxie man isn't taking any chances. As 13's Kate Epstein reports, he's now getting some help from a new product.
This isn't your average construction site, but then again, neither is the item these workers are installing. They're digging a hole for Molly, a storm shelter designed to mollify the fears of homeowners, particularly those who live in mobile homes.
Tornadoes, they've stricken around here quite a bit, and we just figure, it could be a matter of time before one hits you.
Which is exactly what motivated the man who invented this fiberglass shelter.
Uncle got killed in a tornado some years ago, and the things that it's done to so many people's lives. And
this shelter might look small from the outside, but it's actually big enough to hold 2 kids, 2 adults, and even the family dog, which makes it large enough for the average family, but small enough to remain portable.
We plan on building a geodesic dome, and when we do, we want to move the safety module close to it.
Fortunately, the weather conditions were near perfect for these workers today, and the Molly Safety Module was installed within hours. But everyone on this site knows Kansas and says there's no mistaking Mother Nature.
When you're up at night listening to those big winds move in, you get kind of nervous, and you hate to think about having to dive into a ditch.
Now Cox says he'll just dive into the Molly Module. Kate Epstein, 13 News.
Up next, a great story. Meet a former Topekan who has pedaled his way to his class reunion halfway across the country.
And the rain is easing out of the forecast. We'll check that out with Dave Relihan right after this.
Interesting that Arkansas comes out throwing the ball again.
Are you layer? Make Nautilus the choice for a great night's sleep. It's time you feel the instant comfort of Nautilus with no money down and payments as low as $30 a month. Try Nautilus. The best sleep.
Used to be, and in the same storm, this trailer was torn apart, leaving only a fragmented shell. It's definitely a frightening sight. So What can people who live in mobile homes or manufactured homes, those are ones without basements, do to protect themselves from tornadoes? Are they doomed to be stuck in what many believe to be death traps? Well, there is one idea that at least one local man is buying into. Laura Davis is standing by just outside of Rosendale to tell us what that is. Laura?
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Mike. Well, I'm here with the Lloyd and Letha Reed family, and they are the first owners in this area of a Molly safety module. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. It's just a little hole in the ground at the moment, but I'm going to talk to the Reeds about why they decided to go this route as opposed to any other route of being safe from severe weather. Well, Letha, we had some severe weather just a couple of weeks ago. What was it that prompted you to check into getting some special shelter for you and Lloyd?
Well, we hadn't really planned on it until we saw this module over at Mountain City a week ago today, the 4th of July. And we looked at it and called the person that has that sells them. And he had us come look at it yesterday.
Now, you had considered a couple of other options. What made you go with this one, Lloyd?
Well, we had talked about building a basement or a cellar, and it was going to cost as much as this was, and besides the extra work and hiring, or else having to hire it done.
Now, you have to go quite a ways, too, in case there is severe weather, because you don't have a basement in your home. It's a manufactured home. How long would it take you if you didn't have your new escape? How long would it take you to seek safe shelter?
Well, it wouldn't take so long. It's just the fact that you have to get out in bad weather and go someplace else, unless you get around before the crowds get bad. So
you feel safe now?
I think we will.
Okay, well, we're going to tell you a little bit about this safety module. This is what it looks like right now. It's only about 6 inches out of the ground. Let us show you what it looked like before it was implanted in the ground by the Molly Module group. This is what the module looks like out of the ground. There are a couple of pipes for ventilation. This is made completely out of fiberglass shelter. It will seat, if you believe it or not, 6 people. There's another style for people, if in case you don't live in a home that's just on a slab, if you live in a mobile home. And we're going to tell you about that here just in a moment. Just a moment. All right. Now we're going to talk to the gentlemen who actually manufacture these modules. And I'm just going to go down here and... Hello, Larry. Come on out of there. This is Larry Large. He is the local sales rep for the Molly Module Company. And Larry, I wanted to ask you, this is one particular style. We said at 6 seats, 6 people. And I've been down there. It's a little cramped, but you get by okay. There's another alternative for people who live in mobile homes. Why don't you tell us about that one?
Well, what you do is there's a different throat on it, and we plant it outside the mobile home, and the throat goes up and under, and you just cut a hatch door through the floor of the mobile unit, and you go down through that. You go right down through the floor.
Now, this is the first one you've sold in the area, but are you getting some other nibbles?
Sure. We're getting calls every day.
How difficult is it to install one of these? How much time are we talking here?
3 hours, 3-4 hours. The ones that go under the mobile home itself, they take a little longer.
Okay. Well, I was concerned that I went down in there and it was getting a little hot, but since then it has been filled with dirt, and you were just down there. How'd you feel?
It's nice and cool.
And as Letha put it, it sure beats the coffin in case there is severe weather. Back to you, Nancy.
All right, thanks a lot, Laura. It seems like a good idea, Mike. I mean, we still are in tornado season.
You know, and really tornado season runs April, May, June, and even in through July, and even into August. And you know what an interesting fact about the whole tornado scenario is that they can occur at any time, any day of the month. I mean, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be spring. It doesn't have to be summer. They've had reports of tornadoes in December.
Right, so it's something that you can't necessarily count on.
And really, you know, they've done a lot of studies as well, like on where's the best way or best position in the basement to go to, and really it's kind of tough to basically pinpoint that. So one of those shelters is a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we've got some video still. Yes, we'll take you back up to just outside of Rosendale, and you can start to see that there are a few high clouds around, and that'll be moving in for tonight. So we'll be dealing with partly cloudy sky tonight. Then I think tomorrow we'll see more clouds and the moisture will start to make its way back towards us. But as you can see, winds are out of the south right now, and things will continue.
Now imagine someone telling you couldn't use your seat belts, smoked a helmet. Tornadoes kill dozens of people every year, and there's something out there that could keep them alive. But the inventor says he's being blocked by a most unlikely group. Anyone who's ever been in its path says a tornado is one of the most terrifying sights in the world. This, on the other hand, doesn't look like much, and once in the ground under a concrete slab is even less impressive. But if a tornado is about to hit this Kansas, this trap door and what's underneath it could mean everything to the lucky owner.
We hesitated about moving into a mobile home because it seemed like tornadoes like to pick on mobile homes, you know. They always going around kicking the daylights out of them.
Earl paid $2,500 for what's called a Molly safety module, a fiberglass survival pod designed to be buried beneath or next to a mobile home. The inventor lost an uncle to a twister and barely escaped one as a kid, and he wanted a simple fix. What were you looking into this thing?
Well, something that was as safe as it could be, something that would accommodate a single family, and something that wouldn't take up a lot of room.
Tornadoes can pack winds up to 300 miles an hour, and few things above ground remain standing if one scores a direct hit. But a couple of feet below the surface, the Molly provides enough room for 6 adults to safely ride out the storm.
From the outside, they look like, oh, we get this all the time. Boy, that's awful small. I don't know. Once they get down into it, they're like, wow, it's a lot bigger than it looks to deal with this.
About 2 years ago, the Manufactured Housing Institute, and those are the people who regulate the mobile home industry, commissioned a study. This study, a study that basically says anybody who lives in a mobile home risks injury in a tornado or hurricane if they can't find shelter underground. It's kind of ironic, then, that some of the people who run mobile home parks won't let their tenants install these things. Max says on at least 15 occasions, customers around the country have been prevented from installing a mobile home park wouldn't let them. Diane Purr was initially turned down when she wanted to bury a Molly next to her Kansas City area mobile home. Under pressure, park owners finally gave in, giving permission in a letter that reminded the 10-year resident her lease ran month to month. Did you see this as a threat?
Personally, yes, I did. Yes, I seen it as a threat.
So you're not going to put one in?
I'm not going to put one in.
And hope that a tornado doesn't come?
And hope it doesn't come.
Max says underground utilities are the reason most parks give for opposing personal shelters. And Purr does have an alternative. In the event of a tornado, she and other park residents can crowd into this designated above-ground shelter if they can empty all the junk in time. Now, we intend to ask the park owners why they oppose personal shelters. Kansas could soon force mobile home parks to have shelters big enough for all of their residents. Missouri has no such law on the books.
On the news, former President Carter...
I'm